Good afternoon from another bright and sunny Cornwall. It's relatively warm here today. I hope everyone is doing well. And if you're watching this, you're obviously interested in Empyrean energy. And there's been a lot of questions surrounding, first and foremost, the survey boat. And now, where's the rig? Is it moving? When are we going to find out when it's there? And obviously, this morning the news has come that it's on its way over to us in a couple of days, and we should hopefully be finding out the sort of total news on the oil in regards to whether or not we're hitting it big or not. And then obviously that should be just over a month's time, all being well. So I'm just going to try and cover everything at every stage, thoughts, and again, this is based off my own knowledge and experience and research on the area, and sort of putting together all the pieces of the puzzle. So first and foremost, they've obviously got all the seismic data. If you had watched my other video, I've already told you why I'm sort of fully excited for the drill, and the thoughts are that they're going to hit more than the sort of estimations in place, if you like. So they're going to get the rig in place, anchor it, and then they're going to spud. So first and foremost, you've got that to sort of do. So that's going to take a couple of days to get the rig there, a couple of days to set it up. So, you know, there's still a good week or so, I reckon, until we'll get that news. So at that point in time, that's when you get a lot of people hoping and expecting news of hydrocarbons being found on the way down to sort of total depth, and news along those lines of casing points being put in. So the drill's been designed with obviously safety in mind from obviously personnel as well as environmental point of view. So in that regards, they are going with a 4 casing system. So the first drill bit that goes down, again roughly it'll go down a quarter of the way, and the first drill bit is quite big, and then as they go down further and further, they'll put in 3 casing points before the total depth. So at each of those points, I'm not expecting sort of any significant oil plays to come up that we know about, or that are based there from the sort of seismic data that's been put out there and is known about. Again, other drills in the area, they get down to the total depth, and there's the sort of major oil in play, if you like. So when they are just above the total depth, they should start seeing from the mud that they used to lubricate the drill bit, and again it's all encased, so they should be able to get sort of a sensor on what's down there gas wise. So that would be the gas cloud. So normally C1 to C5, and then obviously what we're hoping for is C5 to C7, which is the proper nice around about 30 API oil which is found around the area. So when that last casing point goes in, it will normally be a day or two just to go set that casing point, make sure it's nice hard, get a smaller bit, and each time this happens they've got to pull all the pipe out of the ground, put it back in the ground. So total drill time round about 25 days, and again this is shorter than a lot of the other discoveries in the area, purely and simply because it's slightly shallower. But because it's slightly shallower, that means bonus. Again, have a look at one of my other videos on the 4-way up dip trap system, it's as high as it gets. So this is almost the Everest, if you like, in the area. It's one of the bigger traps, and Jade is the first of those traps. So this is almost like a little hill to summit before the big one being Topaz. So share price at each of these points, I've always said that the market makers generally tend to look at dropping a share price historically between 60 and 80% based upon the drill. So if they don't hit oil, expect the share price to drop to 70%. This is where you get a few variables with this drill and the company as a whole. Now, we're expecting an update on Duyong and their gas sales, offtakes, etc, etc. So that alone could be adding 10, 15, 20p, and that will be an ongoing sort of monetary into EME. So that's going to be some positive news. That is due out practically at any time, so hopefully that will underpin the share price where it is now, around that 10p point. So it could be a lot more. Obviously gas prices have gone up for reasons I don't want to get into too much. There's enough of it out there, doom and gloom. So if you're looking at a 70% drop, but then you've got to add in or account for the fact that this drill effectively gives us 20-30% of Topaz as well, if successful. So when you're looking at the upper end scale of P10 in the area, they don't work off that price point, unfortunately. They work off the P50, and P50 at 70% drop plus 20% over for Topaz gives you somewhere around 18 to 22 pence, give or take, not including Duyong, and again that's based at P50. So if the market makers are feeling generous, and obviously everyone is out there and doing what they want to be doing and buying in, then at some point in time you could be looking at 25 to 30 pence quite happily. So if you say 30 pence, 70% drop, then you're looking down about the 10p area, down to sort of 6-7 pence area. So the other question in regards to the company, have they got enough money to do the testing? Well, the offer's out there already, and I think personally they've got more than enough money to go by, and if they've got oil there, then I don't consider there being an issue finding, a couple of £1 million to top up what we know is there in the coffers at the moment. So yeah, in that regard, it's quite an exciting drill. This could be my last oil company that I go with on the alternative investment market, because I believe it to be sort of the nirvana, if you like. People are saying it's one of the biggest drills of 2022. I consider it to be one of the biggest drills of the decade for any company on the AIM market. So when you're looking at market caps, have a look at PANR. They've gone up and over £1 billion. EME at the moment is valued at 70 million. So lots of people have said, should I be buying in after the drill? Well, if you wake up and it's £1 a share and you're looking at a £5 takeover, I would rather be buying in at a relatively low price, below 20p, and then you've got options. Obviously, if we go into any hydrocarbons, etc., that are there, then it's going to be a case of, if you bought in at 10p, 12p, 15p, share price is at 30p, you can free ride it. So from that point of view, it's going to be better each bag at 15p, 20p, 30p to make money going up to £1.50 for Jade, as per the 10 costs sort of broken out. But again, they're valuing it at P50. If you hit P10 and, you know, massive discovery, and then you take over the topaz area and then you add that into the fray, you know, 20% of that drill, all of a sudden the share price, you could wake up to £2 a share, give or take. And do you want to be buying in at that point? You're then looking at, you know, potential downsides if topaz isn't going to be drilled for a while. So again, the company has not released any knowledge or data on the drill there, so I don't believe permits have been applied for, but I've always considered this one to be, if it's de-risked and China want that oil bad enough, which they do, then they're going to hopefully want to just buy out our license area. So in that effect, if you're looking at, you know, just Jade alone and say 500 million barrels in the ground, you're going to be talking them paying quite happily, I would say, $10 to $15 a barrel. So, you know, you can work out the market cap and the shares, etc., of where that can go. And the other thing is, we're going to want a bit, obviously, for topaz. If topaz is to be drilled, then the share price, I think, will stabilise 500 million upwards just on Jade alone. The drilling of topaz will come, I believe, in potentially a year's time, if the licensing and permitting can be done, you know, quickly by the government. So effectively, the licenses will be probably similar to Jade, and because you've done the process, because you've been deemed to, you know, be good at doing what it is you're doing, if the drill's gone ahead, absolutely fine from an environmental point of view. It will almost be a copy and paste job. So that's what I sort of foresee, what I think. Again, I'm not authorised to give any financial advice via the FCA, etc. But again, it's just my own thoughts of knowledge, etc., of the area. And I've done over 300 hours worth of knowledge and research over the last sort of 5 years. And yeah, I'm pretty much all in on this drill. I won't be selling any of my shares in any way, shape or form until we've gone past total depth and we know what's there. And hopefully it'll be a good flow test, and it will further prove the exciting area that is the South China Sea. And yeah, fingers crossed for everyone that's holding. If you need any questions answering, please feel free to let me know, and good luck everyone.